came 3 years ago. A power that mocks God. Was afflicted. Untouched.
Mrs. True?
Miss Adair? Being touched is not a defect of character. With this war, the pops are purists. There's no shortage of people who hate us.
Mrs. True and we've come to help with that.
We don't want more violence.
Gentlemen, might we be civil?
Horror and fascination go arm in arm.
The touched are not a threat.
I take it then that you are yourselves among the afflicted.
We don't consider ourselves afflicted. We're part of something much bigger.
And it requires sacrifice.
And welcome to Hero Collector. Today we're joined by the amazing Amy Manson, who stars in the upcoming Victorian London supernatural series, The Nevers. Hello, Amy.
Hello, Sarah.
How are you doing today?
I'm super, thanks. Yeah, excited about this. Thanks for having me.
No, happy to have you. I just wondered if you'd like to tell the audience, never heard of The Nevers, what this show is about and what role you play.
Oh, well, where to start? It's predominantly about a group of women in Victorian England who have been what we call touched. So they've been given mild superpowers, and it's about how they come together as a collective and kind of figure out what these powers mean for each other as a collective and society.
Great, amazing. And you play Malady, who's a different type of touch to the main heroes of the piece.
Yes, yeah, there's there's kind of two factions of the touched. So Malady is, she's kind of, I always thought of her a bit more as a terrorist. She's got her own kind of missions and overall objective that she wants to reach, which is very different from the other women, the other touched women.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a great role. Probably one of my favorite introductory scenes to.
It's such a great introduction. Yes,
it's so good. So how much fun was it to get into like this kind of villainous role?
Oh, I loved it. I remember getting the script initially and trying to, because, we never got the script, but I got scenes for Malady. I think she was called something else as well, like Under the Radar, Mabel or something. And I spent weeks trying to pick this character apart to no avail. And then actually when I got the part, I thought, right, where do we begin? Where do we find the truth, the layers, because you don't, as an actor, you can't play a baddie. It always stems from somewhere or stems from, past trauma that kind of enforces, my choices as an actress because of what Malady's gone through in the past. So in that respect, it was colossal. I just had to start from the beginning and kind of work out who she was, maybe from a kid all the way up to why she is the way she is now and why she behaves the way she does and why she's got this vendetta against this certain doctor within the show, which you find out pretty immediately why.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away about her journey, but there is a lot of religious kind of allegories and pain tied to her kind of like nature and her turn and all this kind of conflict going on inside her.
Yes, exactly. That's it. That is the trauma. That's her turn, almost inflicting pain on other people.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's got a wonderful turn as well. Is it? I couldn't quite figure it out, but it's that she can absorb energy and pain, and it makes her stronger.
That's it, exactly. So in battle, the more she, you know, if she's in battle, the more she's fighting, the stronger she becomes. And she needed this turn to get out of a situation that you'll find out about in episode 5 or 4 or 5. So that's where it stems from. But then also that she uses it at times just to kind of win battles too. So it's like this eye glare that happens, and it just controls. It kind of like just knocks people into kind of submission and into just standing still, and they can't really move.
Absolutely. And was there any kind of real life Victorian villainy women that you kind of researched to get into like the mindset of Malady, or was there any other fictional characters, villainesses?
It was more performances, I guess. Charlize Theron in Monster, and I think Halle Berry, Catwoman. There was a few of these sorts of things, but it was more, just understanding the reason, you know, why she behaves the way she does. That's my job, isn't it? The writers write and are immersed in their world, but it's for me to figure out the whys and whats and ask and hows and ask all these sorts of questions. So really it was just, I just kind of went back to my drama school teacher and did some sessions with him just to build the layers, to give it so much truth, because she's so huge, you know. It's a blessing, because later on within the first few episodes you find out why she behaves the way she does, and that's what's been a blessing, that you know you understand why she is so wild and manic, and you know, because it's like she's operating in hypermania constantly, you know. There's certain triggers, and it's like I don't see her ever sleeping, or you know, it's she's got a mission and wants to know why she thinks she's been chosen. There's all but like a few strands, but one of them is she wants to figure out why she's been chosen by God, why her. So this is that's the mission.
Well, it's really good because it's a supernatural piece, but it's set in Victorian London. So what kind of research did you do about women and society in Victorian London?
Well, I've done things in the past. I did a show called Torchwood, so it was stemming, you know, so it's always been around. There was another show that I did, Desperate Romantics, and that was, I played Lizzie Siddle, so that was Victorian London. So I've kind of been aware of, you know, Victorian London, like in that sense, just having, just read books, asylum books as well, because that was just another minefield, wasn't it? At that time, and the treatment of women within these asylums. And I mean, it's mind-boggling what they all went through in these places, you know, what was afflicted on them as well. And that's what I think part of my love for Malady is, that she could have gone so many different ways. You know, she could have taken her life, or you know, become addicted to laudanum, or you know, opium, but she didn't. She's just kind of like the force of nature. Well, she's a terror, but it's not all bad. It's not all rose-tinted glasses either.
Yeah, I find her very interesting because she reminds me of like a female Joker-esque character who just wants to upset the norm and do her mission.
That's it. Yeah, because I remember when I was thankful that we had finished the first episode. I think it was like 2 months before the Joker movie came out. So I was thankful about that. Yeah. Because I knew there was elements of, you know, it's like the down and outs of society and how they, you know, that's superheroes themes, isn't it? And how she becomes the way she does. And this is her pilgrimage to save the world.
Yeah. And I find it interesting in the first episode, especially, that she's compared to Jack the Ripper almost instantly, because that's kind of what gripped Victorian London. But because she's killing respectable people, there's a lot more kind of charge against her, and people are more like fearful of her. There's kind of like a class and gender divide instantly in the murders that she commits.
Absolutely. She just appears that she just wants to tear down the patriarchy. which is part of this mission. And she just wants to, you know, she flips between this child and teenager and throwing toys out from the pram, wanting to inflict the pain that she had inflicted on her onto, you know, the people that did it to her.
Yeah.
You know, and she doesn't fly the flag for the touched women in any respect. Yeah, she's not a big advocate for having this turn.
Yeah. And kind of obviously she has a relationship with the lead characters in the sense that they have a backstory together as well. So there's that kind of hate against the good touched versus Malady's kind of like gang.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's just one of a kind. I'm so honored to have had her, you know, to have played her over the last kind of couple of years. It's been a wee bit stop start with obviously with COVID and scripts and things, but yeah, it's just, I just want to know where she goes next, because we've only seen up to episode 6. Well, not seen, we've only read, you know, script wise, because we filmed that up to episode 6, so we don't actually have anything further from that. So I'm super excited to see where she goes.
Jenny goes. It's really interesting because I find that because a lot of women, not all of the touched are women, but it's a lot percentage wise, how like it makes the men and the patriarchy fearful. Is there anything in the show that could kind of relate to how things are nowadays, to like women getting more kind of like political power and rights across the world?
Yeah, I think it's very timely in that respect, and I think that's what the gift of Malady is, that even though she's gone through all this, you know, it's like I really hope that she is the hope by the end, that it is the rise of Malady in some respect, just to kind of put these horrible men in their place. And at the time, you know, she's all she knows how to do, and the only way she can do it is to just kill them and everybody, you know, that gets in their way in that respect. But that's a very different time. That's not obviously going to happen now, but to hold people accountable for things now is the, you know, the parallel, I guess. So yeah, I say bring Malady back now and she'd have everything, or everyone set in their place.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing I find interesting is that it is a production that's so full of women on and off the screen. What was it like working with like all these talented actresses and producers and writers?
Oh, they're just amazing. Like, it's the best show I've ever done. All the girls were just like, what a good group of artists. Like, truly, I unfortunately didn't get to spend a lot of time with anyone really, apart from Rochelle, who plays Bonfire, who is a dream. But yeah, there really was not one bad egg of cast and crew. It was such a joy, and a joy to be able to create and to have the time, you know, HBO. I'm so glad that it's them at the helm, because we were gifted a lot of time to get this right, to bring what was on the page to life, and that's exactly what has happened, especially character-wise. Even in like read-throughs, I would think, wait, how are you going to do this? Tom Riley's character especially, I was like, how is that going to be layered in truth and meaning, and he does it so beautifully. Everybody does. James Norton as well. It's just, I think people will be shocked to see these performances, you know.
Yeah, I think James Norton, I think especially in the second episode, I was like, wasn't expecting James Norton.
I know, me too. Me too. I like to be shocked as well. So great. And Anne is hilarious.
Yeah,
she's that fun in real life, as Laura is as well. Everybody really is.
It's just
wonderful.
Yeah. It grabbed me instantly on the first episode. I was like, this, even the trailer, I was like, this is a series for me. Supernatural, Victorian London things, like.
Yeah, it really is. And it's, yeah, I hope all the touched women rise, you know, because it's a time where, you know, it's almost like they feel that they're being accused of witchcraft or something so heavy, you know, and to be ostracized from society the way they are just makes you feel yucky. So I'm rooting for Malady as well, you know, to tear it all down and bring on a democracy, I say.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So going back to like the Victorian era, what was it like costume wise? Because obviously, as you can see, it's always been my kind of like dream to dress up in Victorian wise, and getting those details in the Victorian era, like exact, like how good was that?
Oh, it was, yeah, it's just like as soon as I put on Melody's outfit, it just everything started to click. And we wanted to give reference, Michelle and I, the costume designer, to her time in the asylum and what she would have done in the asylum in those 3 years. So so there is that. There's the belt that you obviously see in not all the clips that are out at the moment. And I quite like to go in a lot. I think Melody was, you know, we all agreed, and the producers agreed, that we needed to get this right. And there's rhyme and reason and why she, you know, wears what she wears, and we thought maybe she picks up certain elements from people on her travels, and it was quite important for me to. I really fought to wear no shoes in the first scene, and it wasn't so much grounding; it was more the pain element, that she just doesn't feel it. She just does not feel pain. You know, it's almost like she gets off from pain. It's the complete opposite, in a really, perturbed way. So that was fun, but then we decided, just with all the fight sequences, etc., that we just couldn't, and some of the locations are just off the chain, and I just, it was better to just put shoes on come Ep2. But it was fun being, you know, on the stage in Ep1, and speaking the way she speaks in the clothes that she does, with the makeup that she's got on her face. I think we agreed that Chris Blundell, who's the most amazing makeup designer, we agreed to give her some like syphilis and things, and you know, just because she's been underground for so long, so she's probably got so many diseases on the go, which she doesn't feel. But it was such a collaborative effort by all involved, and a meticulous one. So I went in quite a lot of times just to get the look right, and to, you know, understand why she would change it at certain times as well. But she's just a shapeshifter, and she's just, you know, she's enjoying it all, in a weird way. She has to, you know, revenge is sweet, I guess, is what she's going through.
Yeah, it definitely seems like she relishes revenge.
Yes, she does. Yes, and I think everybody will relish it for her when they understand exactly what she's gone through.
Looking into the era, is there any like fun or favorite facts that you discovered about especially the late Victorians? Because I find them such an interesting time.
Interesting facts. I wanted to go to the asylum outside London. I think that's still on the cards. Bethlehem, wasn't it? Maybe, and just kind of just look at images and pictures of the women that were kind of enslaved, I would almost use, that's the word there at the time. More so about the day-to-day lives of, you know, workers, and the rich-poor divide, I guess, was huge. Everybody struggles just to survive, I guess. It wasn't a great time, it was a dirty time. And I would say more so that than,
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today about this character. I really hope people go and watch the Nevers, because it's such a great, fun, action-packed show that's got a lot of deeper meanings to it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And your character is amazing. And like I said, the minute she comes on screen, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, it's great. I remember somebody said, who I was working with, said, if we ever understand Melody, we've not done our job, type thing. So I think people will eventually understand why she's fighting the battle she is. But I thought that was quite cool. I thought it was quirky. Even when I watched the episodes back the other day, I was like, oh my God, what does she say? What does this mean? It's all just heavy with meaning.
Yeah.
And it's just some of the most stunning scripts I've ever read.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think always the best and more compelling villains are the ones you don't completely understand. They scare you the most.
So true. Yeah, so true. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Thank you so much for talking to me today. I think audiences in the UK can watch it on HBO and Sky Cinema later this year.
Yes, April the 11th.
April the 11th, amazing. And I really hope you get more series and more episodes and we can see you again. It's a phenomenal role. You're fantastic in it. Oh, thanks, Sarah. Thank you so much for the support. I'm so glad you love it. So much. I can't wait for everyone to see it. We're gonna talk about it all the time. Yes, let's do it. Yeah, amazing. Well, I hope you have a very lovely rest of the day, and can't wait to see everyone's reaction to your performance. Me too. Thank you for the questions. No worries.
Thank you. See you soon.